Good evening and welcome to Rinkside with Red Hockey. My name is Paul Shuttleworth. Alongside me, my co-presenter Alan Gould. Tonight the Telford Tigers take on the Guildford Flames. Ahead of tonight's game, I had a chat with Joe Miller.
So, quite a difficult game for you guys last night in Basingstoke.
Yeah, I think so. I think special teams killed us last night. I think they had 2 power play goals. We had a few power play chances and didn't put them away. So, against a side like Basingstoke, you've got to take your chances when you get them, and we didn't.
So, looking forward to a game like tonight. Guildford Flames, they've had reasonable form of late, but so have you guys. What are you expecting out of tonight's game?
I think we've got to win. I think we've had a bad record against the top teams this year, and I think for the playoffs, for ourselves, our own belief and confidence, we've got to win tonight.
Great. Good luck with tonight's game, Jack.
Thanks, Paul.
So tonight, the Flames versus the Tigers. Last night, the Tigers lost to Basingstoke, which pretty much looks like Basingstoke are going to win the league now, but it's got to be about focusing on the playoffs now.
I think for Telford, yes, Basingstoke are at that point where they're almost, for the Tigers, they're uncatchable. Last night was a must-win for the Tigers. It didn't happen, so as you say, playoffs has got to be the key now.
Interesting chatting to Paul Dixon ahead of tonight's game that he's now picked up an injury at Christmas time, and then when he was injured went behind the bench, and that saw a change of form in the Guildford Flames. They've been playing well, so he's made the decision to stay behind the bench to keep that consistency, and that could be a worry for Telford.
It could be. Guildford were unusually mid-table for most of the season, and they're having a late surge, which is the surge we thought would see come from the Tigers. That hasn't happened, so tonight will be very, very interesting.
Let's take a look at the first period action. So the players line up. Referee Matthews looks over to the timekeeping bench. The first line sees Davis, Macroft and Miller take to the ice. And the puck drops. It scraps around. Macroft sends it back to Miller. Off the boards from Martin Andre. Up to Macroft. Danny Davis reaches it for it. But Christopherson already putting a lot of pressure on the Telford Tigers through the mid-ice. Sam Zajac under pressure from Christopherson. Guildford putting 2 players, really forcing an error against Sam Zajac. Picked up and neutralised by Macroft. Backhanded across to Zabo. Curls back down to his own blue line. Back passes to Martin Andre.
Oh.
Stretch pass tried to Macroft, but intercepted well and read by Jeremy Lundin, who intercepted the pass. Now Guildford, McKinney puts it through to Duggan at centre ice. Duggan drives down the right wing, gets angled towards the boards and gets a little shove board direction from Novak. Shot comes in from number 21 and the first goal of the night. Thomas Murdy aggressively flicks the puck, and it was Duggan that put the first goal of the night in the back of the net. It was even strength. We were back to 5-on-5. It was 4 minutes and 10 seconds that Duggan put the puck in the back of the net. A lot of traffic in front of Thomas Murdy, but the problem you've got at the moment is with injuries. You've got Phil Hill, Silverthorne, Weaver. There's very little consistency offered because of the number of players that aren't icing. Macroft walks it in, shoots, gets a rebound, shoots the second time, and the netminder comes from nowhere and slides across the ice to deflect the puck away from the goal. The puck now drops into the corner, and the Sliders skate up corner. They're digging to free the puck out. Goes behind the net. Zajac forward to Marcus Maynard on the backhand, hits the red line and then backhands it deep in the end zone. Christopherson holding up in neutral ice. Phillips get a hit from Danny Davis. Macroft walks in, wrist shot straight off London's leg pad, and you can see the smart on London's face.
Oh, he's hobbling. Well, London's just done that. You can see his pearly white shining through his big beard there. He's grimacing at that, but he stayed on. He's going to skate it off. Now some
Davis shoots and scores. The pass comes. I can't see whether it was Miller or Macroft that passed it out from the corner. Danny Davis left unmarked between the hash marks of the 2 circles right in the centre, head to head with the netminder, gets the pass and beautifully executes it towards the left of the net, putting the Telford Tigers back to 1-1 on 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Davis the scorer, just waiting for the official announcement whether it was Miller or Macroft on the assist. Duggan and Novak on the draw. Bit of pushing and shoving from Oslins and Miller. And of course, there's a bit of deflection from the boards. Novak doesn't quite get to the puck. It drifts up to toe on the point. Passes down to Duggan, to Myers, across for the first time. Set plays coming across. Danny Myers shoots. Pad save. The loose puck being scrapped around. Martin Andre tips at it. And then you see the puck get picked up by Oslins, and then he tries for the top shelf and nearly manages the top of the rink.
As they work it in,
So Guildford now passing the puck around, goes up to London in the high slot. Across, Kraljay half-cocked for the first-time shot, but passes back. London gets it back, tries to make the quick pass. They keep possession. Kraljay, shots from the point, and a pad save, and I didn't see that coming, so Thomas Murdy was ready on the back post, comes through, Myers swings at the puck but misses in the slot, and that was the cheer from the Telford Tigers fans as the Guildford Flames are having countless opportunities. Another shot from Thomas Murdy, deflected from a stick pad save into the corner, and the hooter goes to the end of the first period. An amazing work rate on the penalty kill from those three players for the Telford Tigers. At the end of the first period, it's the Telford Tigers 1, Guildford Flames 1. I think both teams were fairly evenly matched through the games. The thing that's going to make Telford struggle as we go in the start of this second period is the fact they're going to start 5-on-3 down. They're
going to start 5-on-3, but the end of that period 5-on-3, and they did it very, very well.
Yep.
The game has gone Guildford, Telford. I still think Guildford are looking the stronger team, and I'm surprised they didn't capitalise on that 5-on-3.
And what's fair to say is Thomas Murdy's having a bit of a blinder. Shots on goal at the moment, 19 against Thomas Murdy, only 10 against the Guildford netminder. So, quite frankly, Thomas is earning his money tonight.
He is doing. He's doing it very well. It's unusual. It's normally the other way around. The Tigers normally outshoot their opponents, but it's changed around now. But as you say, Thomas is hanging in there well.
Let's take a look at the second period action. Referee Matthews checks in with the goal judges and then prepares to drop the puck. It's won by a great draw from Danny Davis. Pass back from Martin Andre to Sam Zajac. Banks it off the boards. Picked up by London at the blue line. Passes forward. Still some pressure coming on. Danny Rose straight out. We've got three defensemen out there and one forward. Play the defensive boxes. Campbell walks in, shoots. The save is made by Thomas Murdy. The puck drops. And battling for the rebound, Christopherson was right in front of Thomas Murdy, but good hustling from the defenseman to clear it up ice. Kraljay tries to just drop it forward, but Martin Andre's determination dumps the puck down the ice and clears it well out.
Max Babrea steps up. Max Babrea, Novak, Zajac and
London
Andre
on the left side over towards Duggan. Crosses corner to corner, backhands it over the top, picked up in the corner, and as the incoming forward, which is Oslins, goes into the corner, he loses footings and goes heavy into the barrier.
Seems okay.
Oslins drops it to toe, makes a shot, it deflects into the body of Thomas Murdy. He's on the floor on the left side of the net, and a heavy shot into Max Babrea, who dives to save the puck. Thomas Murdy gets behind the puck, he lost his footing on the boards. Puck drops into the corner. Drops back. Now, Zajac will get to the puck first, but pressure coming from Hemmings. Zajac takes it behind the net, cuts inside, tries to tap the puck forward.
Marvellous.
Accelerates forward to the blue line. Passes forward. Zarbo's through, but the puck runs away from him and down to the netminder. And now Novak goes in because there was a very late challenge there from number 7, which is Phillips. And as a result, you saw, and there's real frustration. It looks like Novak's in the middle of it in front of the team store.
That started because the puck rolled towards Ulberg, and Zarbo just swung along the ice at it to try and get a tap on the puck.
Try and get a tap at it. Intercepted as a line change goes off. And now
3-on-2. Oslins over the top.
And it deflects off the crossbar. It'll come out. Macroft steps up ice, hits the halfway line, puts it onto the left side. Davis cuts inside, beautiful hand, and fires it in the top right-hand corner. A fantastic goal for Danny Davis. A beautiful execution. Receives the pass, stops, pulls it forward, waits, pulls it back, and fires a wrist shot into the top right-hand corner. Good night, Vienna. Telford Tigers, 2-1. Goal timed at 33 minutes and 24 seconds. Joe Miller has the puck in front of the team store, spins away from London, maintains the puck possession, loses footing. Davis passes the puck up, McKinney tips it forward. Kraljay now picks it up at the halfway line. Oslins gets the puck as he curls up ice, puts it across to Quiney. Into Danny Davis, dumped down ice, but Macroft goes for the puck. He'll clearly get there first. He receives it on his backhand, takes it behind the net, passes forward to the incoming Danny Davis, onto Miller. Miller carries it round the netminder, and with precision, he waits. Miller gets the puck, and I thought if he shoots this, it's straight in the net. netminder, and Joe, calm as a cucumber, pulls the puck around the back leg of the netminder, pushes it forward and taps it in with the backhand of his stick. Amazing execution from Joe Miller on the back post, as we're seeing some fantastic play from the Telford Tigers, putting them 3-1 up against the Guildford Flames. But Brea tips the puck forward, picked up this time by Danny Myers, takes it back into his own end, stick handles. 2 minutes 15 seconds remaining in period 2. Myers passes it on, gets a knock on from Campbell. Christopherson lunges towards the puck, it drops down and neutralised, but Brea now powers forward down the middle lane, winds up for a shot, and it was saved by the netminder, but he didn't think he'd saved it. He looked over his shoulder to see if it was in the back of the net, felt it drop down and just tucked it in behind his leg pads behind him. Guildford Flames versus Telford Tigers. We'll be back with more ice hockey action straight after the break. Welcome back to the Telford Tigers versus the Guildford Flames.
And now a break.
A drive forward from Dale White. Macaulay Hayward's in the centre. White comes through with the puck, walks in, shoots and scores! That's the first goal for Dale White in a Telford Tigers shirt. And he skates in, works his way through the middle. He almost lost possession, and you can see him just waiting and realising he's got the puck and no one on him. Thinks, why not take a shot? And Dale White picks up his first goal for the Telford Tigers outfit on 38 minutes and 18 seconds. An even-handed goal for the Telford Tigers, bringing it up to 4-1, 3-0 period from the Telford Tigers against the Guildford Flames.
Well, that was almost a carbon copy of Davis's second goal, but he went top left that one. Absolute class, absolute class.
Fantastic
I'm going
finish.
to put my neck on the line. That's the best period of hockey and probably the best goal in that period I've seen this season.
This is frustration on the Guildford Flames part.
A guy of Crowley's
wow.
experience and knowledge, he must be very, very wound up to.
Stick lift from Christopherson, takes the puck off from Zajac as he skates it out.
To not
Thomas Murdy tips it forward, but Guildford now passes to Christopherson, tries to wrap around and puts it in the back of the net. Murdy came out, played the puck, went back in the net. Christopherson powered forward, got the shot away, and the Guildford Flames bringing themselves a goal back in. A short-handed goal at 39 minutes and 14 seconds.
They thought, well, it's all going our way now. Dangerous play, and Guildford capitalised.
That'll be disappointing for Tom Watkins.
That's a blip on
for Brea.
On what else?
Still makes it a 3-1 period, but nevertheless.
That was just a blip on a brilliant period of ice hockey.
Martin Andre up to Brea. Brea forward to Miller. Miller carries it round Godfrey, leans in, stops, delays, pulls inside. Beautiful hands, puts it past the left-hand side of Oldberg, who adjusts his net and shakes his head. Beautiful hands by Joe Miller, carrying it on the left-hand side, cuts inside, dipsy doodles by backhanding the puck through the defenseman's leg, picks up the puck, waits, and puts it through the left-hand side of the netminder between the left-hand side and the post, high and dry for the 5th goal of the night for the Telford Tigers. Scored on 39 minutes and 33 seconds. That's a power play goal for the Telford Tigers, bringing it back to 5-on-5.
Well, I nearly jumped over the barrier there. I got so excited with that Miller goal. Absolutely.
I wouldn't do that with your hips. And big hits being thrown in the corner, but Brea and Toe pushing either side. And then the end of the period, Hayward steps up. There's a bit of argy-bargy in the corner, but it's only big hits as part of the game. And as the hooter goes for the end of the second period, we finish 5-2. So I think you'll agree, Alan, that was one of the best periods of hockey I've seen this season. The Telford Tigers going into the dressing room, 4-1 the scoreline on that period.
I can't say enough about how good that period was. I mean, not only this season, I'm trying to think back over the last few seasons as well. Absolute change from the first period, which was the majority Guildford. And, you know, the first 2 or 3 minutes, Guildford had the power play in that period, and Telford turned it around. And
I think the thing for me was the patience of the finishing. Danny Davis, we saw him do it. Joe Miller, we saw him do it. Then towards the end of the period, Dale White, all taking the time, waiting for the netminder to commit and then firing the puck home with such confidence. And that's the first time we've seen confidence like this from this team in a long time.
Once you get it going, you can keep the momentum of confidence going. And as you quite rightly say, 3 of those goals were probably 3 of the best goals we've seen this season as well. They weren't just put into the net, they were put in specific positions, top corners, brilliant.
You've only got to look at the shots on goal. In the first period, Guildford outshot Telford 19-10. Second period, complete role reversal, 19-9. The difference being the finishing of those goals, and now we end up 5-2 up. In the first period, when Telford were outshot, Thomas Murdy did the difference of keeping Guildford at bay.
And it's normally the other way around. Telford are shooting and not scoring. Tonight it's role reversal again, the shooting and the puck's going in the net.
Fantastic period of hockey. Let's hope for more of the same as we take a look at the third period action. Have Telford got what it takes to keep up the momentum, or will the Guildford Flames counteract it? Referee Matthews puts his hand in the air, drops the puck. There's pushing and shoving for the puck, but it's Matt Toe that wins it. Sends it back to Phillips. D-to-D pass across to London. London stretch pass looking for Campbell. The Macroft stick gets to it. The puck goes high in the air.
Maynard's there to clear it up.
Olin's tying up with Maynard on the halfway line. Oh! That was the train of Max Babrea straight into the chest of Duggan. It was right in front of him.
Duggan's going off.
But Duggan sort of shook his head as if to say, no, I'm fine. But I tell you what, there was some power on Max Babrea. You'll have to watch.
You could hear the thud.
Yeah. Over us screaming. Both of us just echoed. We're speechless. Christopherson receives the puck. Adam Taylor puts him under pressure. Really putting pressure on him as he backhands the puck up towards Campbell. Skates through centre ice. Hits the blue line. Passes it off to the left side. Backhand across from Oslins. London picks it up. Banks it around the boards. Campbell now skates into the corner. Backhands it round. Oslins then once again picks it up, runs into trouble with the referee.
And now we've got
Danny Davis pass across to Markroft, and he's through. He carries it round and puts it in the back of the net, and that's a goal. As the netminder slides across, Markroft goes to the right side, puts it in the back of the net. As the netminder goes into the post, he takes the post off its moorings, but by that time the puck is already in the back of the net. So the Telford Tigers' sixth goal goes at 44 minutes and 50 seconds, bringing the score to 6-2. As Andre Macroft gets himself on the score sheet with goal number 6 for the Telford Tigers.
That was a crucial goal in this period because Guildford did come out all good.
Yeah,
they've got to keep going. It was 6-2.
Quiney skates back. He'll pick it up for the Guildford Flames just under the score clock. Backhands it through. And Taylor lost his footing and took Quiney down with him as he went. I don't think it was intentional, but he was going with such momentum. Now skates back to the bench. He doesn't have a stick, so he's got no option but to take a fly change. And now Myers picks up the puck in the corner. It deflects off Taylor's stick. Comes through to neutral ice. Picked up now by Danny Rose. Across to Davies. Pass forward to Macroft. Sends it round the defenseman. And the netminder came out. Played the puck. And Macroft picked it up and shoots it. Oldberg came out to play the puck. Macroft with lightning reactions. Turns round. Lets a quick first-time shot go. And suddenly you have now got a 7-2 game here at the Telford Ice Rink. 47 minutes and 31 seconds. In an unbelievable finish from Andre Macroft. The netminder skates out, poke checks the puck towards the boards. Macroft picks it up, turns round, lets the shot go, and before Oldberg realises it, it's in the back of the net for the 7th goal. 7-2 the score line, 47 minutes and 31 seconds as the Telford Tigers. Delayed pass back to Novak. Novak's feet get taken out by the stick of Toe, and he swiped his stick at the feet of Novak. Novak in front of the net, tries to screen the netminder, and then pick up the puck, and he tangles once again with Matt Toe. Novak's back checking, pulling towards Danny Myers, but Myers skates into a wall as Dan Scott throws a right hook towards him, and the Guildford Flames skate through and backhand the puck into the net, and it was a drive forward from Danny Myers that got Guildford their 3rd goal of the night. I think the Telford Tigers closed ranks, pushed forward to try and take the body, and Myers used his power and strength to work his way through that line of 3 Telford players and just dropped the puck into the back of the net past Thomas Murdy for the 3rd goal of the night. So the Telford Tigers 7-3 against the Guildford Flames. Guildford's goal scored by Myers. Andre. Now, a break from Campbell down the right side, a one-on-one with Rose, who holds him up. Campbell works his way through, and there's a penalty called against the incoming forward. He steps up, and Campbell's going with Danny Rose, and now all the players are in there. Gloves fly high in the air as the players lock out and hold each other. Thomas Murdy stepped forward to make the save. The puck deflects. The incoming Campbell collides with the netminder over the top, pushes and shoves with Danny Rose. The two of them go, and then every player on the ice, with the exception of the netminders, are in a huddle at the back of the net. Bit of stick work between Dan Scott and Matt Toe. Goes behind the net. Tigers fans on their feet, clapping their hands. And at the end of the game, we finish with the Telford Tigers 7 and the Guildford Flames 3. A fantastic game of ice hockey.
So, a great game tonight, and that second period was one of the best periods of hockey I've seen for years.
I thought the energy in the second period was fantastic, but I think the catalyst for it was the huge penalty kill at the end of the first period that carried over at the start of the second. And I said it before, when you're not scoring on your 5-on-3s, it's tough. Guildford didn't for the huge amount of time that they had, and the boys dug in, and I think it raised our spirits, and perhaps a little bit of adversity from some of the calls that we felt were going against us. It got us up, it got us really focused and really energised, and the second period was massive.
And the circumstances of the game resulted in no option but to play some of the younger players who really stepped up tonight.
Well, we were left kind of scratching our head at one point, and what do we do? And the first time I throw them out, they're up against two imports and a high-end Brit, and they did a fantastic job. They pinned them in the zone, and they were all good. The three on that line were excellent, but there were some really big performances tonight, and to go from yesterday to today, kind of again it leaves you scratching your head, but the level today was excellent. Our finishing was fantastic. Joe Miller scored 2 sublime goals. Danny Dees had 2 great finishes as well. I think Andre's 2 goals were pretty special as well. Dale got a great little finish, and I think it was a huge team effort today. Huge team effort with the 5 guys missing. It was a real big effort by the boys, and I'm really proud of them tonight.
A fantastic performance by the Telford Tigers tonight, but can they keep that momentum going when they play the Sheffield Steel Dogs on Sunday? Tickets available online from tigershockeyuk.com. This is Rinkside with Red Hockey.